Hi, everyone. My name is Jan Radway. I have the privilege of serving as director of the Gender and Sexuality Studies program here at Northwestern. I want to welcome you all as we start this new year together, and I'd like to extend a special welcome to the class of 2024. We're excited to have you with us and hope you will feel quickly at home, even though we will be doing much of our early work, at least remotely. I know that everyone on the faculty here in Gender and Sexuality Studies and across the campus has been working hard over the summer to imagine how we can continue to create a vibrant learning community and find new ways to talk with each other, to challenge each other, and perhaps most importantly, to learn from each other, despite the fact that we can't be in each other's presence regularly. The Gender and Sexuality Studies program prides itself on its diversity and its openness. We welcome everyone who's ever wondered about why people are so invested in whether we are girls or boys, men or women, feminine or masculine, straight, gay, bi, lesbian, queer, non-binary, or trans. Students and faculty work together here to investigate why these categories matter so much, how their configurations and meanings have altered over time, and how they affect people's day-to-day lives. What differences, we wonder, do gender and sexuality make? We explore feminist, gay and lesbian, queer, trans, and other ways of knowing specific to sex and gender. Like me, most of my faculty colleagues in the Gender and Sexuality Studies program have primary appointments in other departments and programs across the humanities and social sciences. That means we bring very different perspectives to bear on the subjects that interest us all, just as we use different methods, different data, and different modes of interpretation to make sense of gender and sexuality. For instance, my primary home at Northwestern is actually in the Rhetoric and Public Culture program in the Department of Communication Studies. We investigate the ways human populations use language, images, and arguments, both to structure and understand social life, and especially to persuade others to understand that life from a particular perspective. We also look at how human communication has changed over the centuries and how new technologies create new ways of conversing with and relating to each other. Many of my colleagues, for instance, are now studying social media and digital cultures, and some are looking at how gender and sexuality figure on different platforms. Over the years, I myself have investigated the history of the close association between women and reading. Indeed, I've written about why women read popular romances called bodice rippers, and how those books, which still constitute more than 60% of all mass market paperback sales, address key concerns in the lives of contemporary women. I'm currently working on a project about girl zines and the riot girl movement of the 1990s. Zines, as many of you know, are handmade little magazines produced on paper and circulated by hand and through the mail by young people, often associated with the punk scene. Many disaffected girls and young women gravitated to the form in the 90s as a way of coming to terms with the contradictory messages that targeted them constantly, messages proclaiming the importance of girl power and the idea that girls can do anything, even while other messages told them they were worthless if they weren't hot or decked out in the latest fashions. Girl zines and the young women who created and collected them are a key component of a class I teach in gender and sexuality studies, a class called Girlhood and Public Culture, which looks at how dominant ideas about girls and girlish femininity developed over the last 100 years or so, and how they're still perpetuated in the lives of many people today. However, we also look at how Black girls, Latina, working class girls, and trans kids, as well as others from around the world, how they challenge the dominant idea of the girl as white and middle class, and ask us to think the relations between gender and sexuality and age differently. It's an exciting class for me to teach, and I think one my students have found very useful in their day-to-day lives. I hope I'll see some of you in the class during winter quarter 2021. In the meantime, do get to know us, check out our classes, and by all means, get in touch just to talk. Have a great quarter.